Are you tired of adding your leads into your email list manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video we're going to learn how to create or update SendGrid contact on Google Forms submission. So I am an owner of an online fashion store and I have created a form using Google Forms with the help of which I collect my leads data. Here what I want is that as soon as when if the potential customers or clients, a new form submission is going to be done using Google Forms, I want to add that lead as a contact in my SendGrid account. Now creating these contacts manually can be very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Google Forms and SendGrid with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen.
In this video, we're going to learn how to create or update SendGrid contact on Google Forms submission. So as an owner of an online fashion store, I use Google Forms to collect my customers' details through sign-up forms. And I also use SendGrid to manage my email marketing campaigns, send promotional offers, and keep my customers updated about new collection. However, the problem is manually adding the data of my leads from Google Forms to my SendGrid account. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process. Now, whenever a new form submission is going to be done by the lead using Google Forms, automatically that lead is going to be created as a contact in my SendGrid account. And for doing that, I have created the automation using Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Create or Update SendGrid Contact on Google Forms Submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Forms Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create or Update SendGrid Contact in Google Forms Submissions, and there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We're going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Forms. As with the help of Google Forms, I'm collecting the data of my leads. This is the contact us form that I've created that is embedded on my website. I want that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by the lead using Google Forms, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response of that. And that is for my trigger application. I have selected it as Google Forms. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as new response received. Now, in order to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, by following the steps given here below in the help desk step by step, we are going to build the connection between Pabbly Connect and Google Forms. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the form that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So this is the form that I've created that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect in the name of Contact Us form. Now we're going to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. For that, on this panel over here, I'm going to go to this responses section. As you go to land towards the responses section, where it says link to sheets, click on this button right here. As you're going to do that, a dialog box is going to appear which says select destination for responses. Now we have to select a destination in which all the responses are going to be recorded. Okay. In which you can either select an existing spreadsheet that you have, but I want to create a new spreadsheet. For that, I'm going to select this option and then I'm going to click on this create button right here. As I'm going to do that, you can see a new spreadsheet has been created in the name of Contact Us Form Responses, and this spreadsheet is directly linked to this form that I've created using Google Forms. Now, by any of the lead, whenever a new form submission is going to be done using this form right over here, automatically the record of that form submission is going to be created in the spreadsheet under these headers right here, okay? So this spreadsheet has now been connected to this form right over here. And now what we're going to do is we are going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect so that whenever the record of the response is going to be captured in the spreadsheet, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. Now for connecting the spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect from the panel, go to this extensions option right here. And from the given drop down, go to this add-ons and go to get add-ons button right here. As I'm going to do that, this window is going to appear in front of you, on which on the search bar, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. I'm going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. You can see right over here, Pabbly Connect Webhooks is going to appear. I'm going to open it. And you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, please do install it so that you can create a connection between the spreadsheet and Pabbly Connect. And as I've already installed it, I'm going to go back and refresh this page from here after installing, okay? As I'm going to do that, I'm going to go back to extensions, and now as you go to install Pabbly Connect Webhooks, you can see an option in the name of Pabbly Connect Webhooks right here. And now in Pabbly Connect Webhooks, from the drop down, go to this initial setup button right here. As you go to come towards initial setup button, over here it is asking for two things, that is the webhook URL and the trigger column. For the field of webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us in this field. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which of the data is added. In this spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be column E because in this column, the final data is going to be added. So over here, I'm going to write the trigger column as column E, okay? After entering the URL and the trigger column, I'm going to click on the submit button right here. As I'm going to do that, it says setup configured successfully. As now the setup has been configured successfully, I'm going to go back. Now what I'm going to do is the steps that I'm going to tell you right now are very important. So please do not forget to follow them. Go back to extensions in Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and from the given drop down, go to the send on event button right here. Over here it is saying working. It is very important to click on send on event because whenever the record of the form submission is going to be created in the spreadsheet, this spreadsheet is going to send that data to Pabbly Connect, and you can see a tick mark is in front of send on event. That means now this function is working, okay? So as now the setup is done successfully between the spreadsheet and Pabbly Connect, if I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Google Forms is now been successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test form submission of this form right over here. And after doing the test submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test form submission being done or not. For doing the test submission, I'm going to go to the send button right here. And over here, this window is going to appear in front of you, on which I'm going to click on this link. This is the link of this form. I'm going to copy it from here and paste it in a new tab right here. So this is the form that I've created using Google Forms, with the help of which I can collect my leads data. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the test form submission. Over here, firstly, it is asking for the first name. So the first name of my lead over here, I'm going to write it as test. For the last name of my lead over here, I'm going to write it as smart45. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testsmart45@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. After filling in all the details, I'm going to click on the submit button to do the test submission. It says the response has been recorded. This means the test submission is now done. If I'm going to open my spreadsheet, you can see the record of the test submission has been captured right here. Let us tally the response. First name as test, last name is smart45, email as testsmart45@pabblytudes.com with a dummy mobile number. As the record is successfully created in the spreadsheet, I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down. And yes, you can see right over here, Pabbly Connect has also captured the response of the form submission. Over here, we have received the trigger column as column E. This is a timestamp response. This is the name of the spreadsheet with the ID. This is the form response sheet right over here. You can see this is the sheet ID. This is the row index right here. First name comes as test, last name as smart45. For the phone number, the mobile number, email as testsmart45@pabblytudes.com. As the response of the form submission using Google Forms has been successfully captured over here in the workflow, This means that Google Forms has now been successfully connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. Now, whenever by the lead, a form submission is going to be done using Google Forms, automatically in the similar manner, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. As my objective is to create or update SendGrid contact on Google Forms submission, so for the action application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as SendGrid. SendGrid is a cloud-based email delivery service that helps businesses to send emails to their customers efficiently and reliably. It's widely used for managing email marketing campaigns, sending newsletters, transactional emails like confirmation emails, password resets, and promotional offers. And using SendGrid, I manage the email marketing of my business and I want to create the record of my leads like their contacts in my SendGrid account. And that is why for my action application over here, I'm going to select it as SendGrid. And for the action event over here, I'm going to select as add or update a contact. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this connect button to connect SendGrid to Pabbly Connect. A window is going to appear in front of you on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. After that, it is asking for the token. Using this token, we are going to build a connection between SendGrid and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. Firstly, what we're going to do is we are going to go back to our SendGrid account. So this is my SendGrid account. And to have the token from the left side of the panel over here, you can see if I'm going to scroll down, it says settings. I'm going to go to this option. After coming to settings over here, it says API keys. I'm going to go to this section of API keys right here. After coming to this, API keys section is then going to appear in front of you. In the top right corner, it says create API key. I'm going to select it from here. It is asking for the key name first. So the key name over here, I'm going to write it as new contact. This is the key name. Over here for the permission, it says in the help desk to give the full access permission. So I'm going to give the full access permission right here. And then I'm going to click on this create and view button right here. So this is the key. I'm going to copy it from here and paste it right over here. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this save button. As I've done that, you can see SendGrid has now been successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, it is asking for us to select a list. So for the list, I have created a list in my SendGrid account in the name of Google Forms Leads. So what I'm going to do is for the list over here, I'm going to select it as Google Forms Leads. Okay. After that, it is asking for the email and all the other details of the contact that we want to create in our SendGrid account. So I want to create this lead who have done the form submission using Google Forms as a contact in my SendGrid account. So for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how mapping is going to work is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this was the previous step, that is Google Forms. As I'm going to click on it, this is the same response that was captured in our previous step. In the response, we have our leads data. And I want to create this same lead as a contact in my SendGrid account. So what I'm going to do is from my previous response, I'm going to select the data as it is asking for the email of my customer right here. As I've selected the data from my previous response, you can see the data is mapped. And as I've mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is now going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Similarly, for the first name, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the data of the first name. For the last name, I'm going to map the data of the last name. It is asking for the address and all the other details which I do not require, so I'm going to skip the part. For the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number that I've received right here. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to simply click on the Save and Send Test Request button. As I'm going to do that, we have received a response right over here, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my SendGrid account. This is my SendGrid account list in the name of Google Forms Leads. I'm going to refresh this list from here. As I've refreshed the page, you can see right over here, new contact has been added to my SendGrid account in the name of testsmart45. If I go to tally the response, email comes as testsmart45@pabblytudes.com. Over here, if I'm going to further scroll on, this is the phone number of our lead. You can see right here. As the lead has been now successfully created as a contact in our SendGrid account, this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Forms and SendGrid with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of an online fashion store and using Google Forms, I have created a form using which I am collecting my leads data. In the trigger, I've selected it as Google Forms new response received, as whenever by the lead a new form submission is going to be done using Google Forms, automatically in the trigger, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. And using the response, automatically a contact is going to be created of that same lead in my SendGrid account. And for that, I've created this amazing automation between Google Forms and SendGrid with Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.